Hi guys, a little bit of a follow-up video here. A week or two ago I did a review of this particular kit in the box, looked at the sprues and so on and so forth. So this is the more or less completed model. A little bit of weathering to be done here, a little bit of chipping and rust to be applied, but this is generally what results from the kit itself. Quite an enjoyable kit to put together, in fairness. No major issues. I thought that the mine roller section would be a little bit difficult, but in truth it actually went together rather well. Not sure if the camera's picking it up there, but it looked complex, I thought, but in actual fact it was rather simple. It's basically a Churchill Mark III, even though the box states a Mark IV. I think I mentioned that in the previous video. This has the welded turret. I think I said hull rather than turret in that video, but the welded turret as opposed to the cast turret which you'd see on the Mark IV. But a nice kit, as I say, no major issue with it whatsoever as regards putting it together. No major fit issues. Slightly tight in the turret ring there. A little bit of flash on the base of the turret which had to be trimmed, but other than that it was pretty straightforward. Nice kit. It's 172 as opposed to 176, so it's a little bit larger than I think than the Airfix one and the Matchbox one, but it's sufficiently sized that it will fit in with any units you might have there if you're wargaming or that. As I say, I just give it a very quick sort of a dry brushing there, with a little bit of metallic enamel from A.M.R.C.R, kind of a silver, and I might have overdone it in places. It looks there, but I'm actually going to be going over this again with some other colours and some shading just to bring it in a little bit. My idea was that because it's a mine roller, it's probably going to have the paint blasted off it in places, and it's going to be dirty and scruffy from that particular job basically. So that's what I'll be doing later on. But I said I'd just give you a quick look at it to see how it turned out, because there's not many of these knocking around available for sale. There's a few of them here and there, but they don't turn up too often, and it's just a nice kit, and I think it's worthy of someone having a look at it. So here we are. The one thing I will say about it was the decals, because it's so old, the decals were a disgrace. They were absolutely mangled. They were beautiful looking decals on the decal sheet, of course, but literally every one of them fell asunder. I mean, it was just a nightmare to put them on. Each of those decals there, I mean, I'm not sure if you can see that there. You can just see at the end, the bottom of the one, it looks a little bit rough. That decal is in 4 pieces, believe it or not. It was literally nervous breakdown territory putting it together. This little marking at the end, as you see, went to pieces. Although I decided, to be honest with you, I was actually going to leave it because, again, it is a mine roller, so there's going to be bits and pieces blasted off it. So I think it kind of inadvertently added to the overall aesthetic. There's another decal on the front there. If I can just get that in shot, yeah. There we go. There was one or two down there at the bottom. They were actually, again, a bit difficult, but they were okay. Ones on the side here I actually had to use from the Matchbox A.V.R.E kit, and they were no great shakes either. If you see my Matchbox A.V.R.E kit, Churchill A.V.R.E kit, you'll hear me bemoan the quality of the decals in that as well. But again, that decal is in 2 pieces, so that was probably the best of the lot of them. But used a little bit of Humbrol decal fix and got it together eventually. But it was a tough station, as they say. Didn't really enjoy the decaling side of it. But the kit itself was quite nice, looks quite well. This will be part of my 79th Armoured Division for rapid fire. A couple of units I'm putting together for those guys. Just noticed a little bit of a fit issue on the front panel there of the gun mantlet or whatever it's called. But other than that, I think that was actually about the only thing that went a little bit awry on me. So it'll be serving with, so for example, here is an Airfix Sherman Crab. Similarly painted. I've painted them all in Humbrol Matte 86, as that is going to be the kind of the general overall colour of that particular unit, which is tying in with some other pieces I'd done from years ago. I probably would have used a different colour these days, but because I was matching in with existing pieces which are already decaled and weathered and stuff, I decided I'd just continue on with the 86, and anyway, it's for wargaming, it's only in my own house, so it doesn't really matter. But that's it, guys. A nice little kit. The British Mark IV, although really it's a Mark III, Churchill A.M.R.C.R. Not sure if this particular thing ever actually saw saw real combat, because most of the references I can find for it are actually for this kit, as opposed to for the real life or real world variant. Um, but there you go, that's what it is. So I'll leave you with that, guys. That's just a little update, roundup, whatever you want to call it, end game for the this particular kit by Esci or Esci or Esci. I've heard so many different pronunciations of it, but it was pronounced to me as Esci the first time I ever came across these many years ago, and that's what I call it. So there you go, guys. If you would like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. And any comments, drop them in the comment section. I always try to get back to people eventually. It mightn't be done in the same day, but normally I do. And as I say, keep going, guys. Get your models put together, get them on the table, get them on the shelf, whatever it is, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.